All right, Brayden. Well, you've had a busy summer, man. Junior year. Hard to believe you're already junior. I've covered you the last 2 years. It's been a lot of fun. And the biggest thing I've noticed is the last 2 years, you really have just transformed onto the football field. Not only physically, but mentally. You really have has emerged as one of those leaders. And you were only a sophomore last year. And it really showed on the field, because I think it really got some of the other guys involved. They bought in. And just talk about how you've transformed your play and your attitude on and off the field.
I mean, absolutely. Dudes will start to follow you once they can see that you know how to play, but it's really investing in your teammates. If your teammates know you're going to invest in them, they're willing to invest back in you. And I think that was a big part of, especially what we have going this year, is I'm putting my trust into them, and they know that, so they're willing to trust me more, and that's working well for us so far.
So what would you say is one challenge you want to work on this year as a junior, kind of leading the freshmen and the sophomores?
I honestly don't think it's really the freshmen and sophomores that needs leading. It's the older guys almost, and the guys in my class, because we need everyone, especially those dudes. You know, our team's all juniors almost, so everyone's going to need to be picked up at certain times or helped out with certain things, and that's bringing that across to them without being negative or doing that and trying to encourage them is what's going to challenge a lot of dudes like Markel and Camden Boozer as well that we consider leaders.
Okay, so last year you guys were in a ton of games. I remember listening to the new Philly game. It was a heartbreaker, but you guys proved that you belong. Now what do you do to get to that next level, close games, and basically show the league, hey, we're Lexington, we're fighting for that title?
It's 100% mental at the end of the football game. I think everyone knows that. We're preaching this year's mental toughness, and we break out to fight all the time, and that's, you just got to be willing to fight at the end of the game. Like, we lost Ontario 2 years in a row at the end of the fourth quarter, and I think that's definitely motivating us. But you just got to learn to dig deeper and find something you didn't know you had in those moments.
It's funny you mentioned Ontario. That was actually my next question. There are already people. I was just telling Coach Saris in the Bucyrus area. I was at the Crawford County Fair, and I had my VSBN hat on, and they knew about it, and they asked me, what do you think about Ontario and Lexington? I go, that's going to be a heck of a game. They're excited. People in Bucyrus are already talking about wanting to come watch that game. To get that kind of press and that attention for the first game of the season, that's got to feel exciting, playing in a rivalry game week one. And like you said, they've won the last two. And oh, by the way, they have a D1 player on the other side of the field, Bob and Miller. So that really has to make you as a competitor, it really has to get you pumped and excited.
Absolutely, especially, I know it's going to draw in a lot of people from the outside, but I don't think that should affect us at all. I mean, the last 2 years we played them, we've had the biggest crowds. Our opening game versus them is normally the biggest one around here, at least I think that, and that's just something we got to deal with. It is what it is, but from our standpoint, we just have to learn to correct the mistakes that we made last year at the fourth quarter, and like I said before, just gonna be willing to fight at the end, and that's what we're trying to work on.
And I think the best part of an Ontario-Lexington, especially football game, is the student sections. You got the ozone and the purple haze, and it really makes me sad the game's not on Thursday anymore. I know the coaches, I don't know how you feel, but yeah, I won't be able to see it, and it really sucks for me because I'll be over at Arlen Field, but that's what makes it fun too. I mean, you really get the team spirit in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Student sections are a big part of every sport, honestly, especially basketball and football, but our student section has always been good to us. I'm happy for that, and I know Ontario is always good, especially when they play us. But having a good student section definitely is going to help you out in a game like that.
Can't wait, man. It's going to be an epic game for that. All right, last couple ones. So let's talk about your game. What would you say you have improved or really have keyed on moving into your junior season from your game?
Obviously, we're growing up, getting bigger, stronger, faster, and better at what we do. We spend a lot of time on the field doing extra workouts and stuff like that, just getting better at football. But for me, the biggest thing that I improved on was my mental from last year. I think, like I said earlier in the interview, football is a very mental game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as much as the tangibles that you have, but your willingness to fight and lead dudes, and especially in adversity, right? And I think that's the biggest thing that I've worked on, is figuring out how to do that and be tough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And so that transforms into my next question. Obviously, a lot of attention. You're getting a ton of offers, and it's funny, it started out basketball, and now it's shifting towards football. How do you as a player how do you tune that out? Because I know it's got to be hard, and I know it's all mental, but like, how do you just focus on the game, go out and play the games, and just kind of push that stuff off to the side, especially as we get the season going?
You definitely get used to that sort of thing. I remember as a freshman, I would always come out nervous, or student sections would bother me, or stuff like that. But especially last year, I kind of relaxed. Like, at the end of the day, kids are going to be kids, and if you got kids in the student section screaming your name, there's a reason for it. Whether it's good or bad to them, they're bringing more attention to me. So I mean, that part doesn't affect me.
Do you think that the more attention and when the kids are yelling your name, does that make you feel good to where you can elevate your game and you can, especially if a team's keying on you, double teaming you, does that really release the monster, I guess, is my question?
Honestly, not really. I don't care. Like I said, if people are yelling my name, it's jealousy.
That's great.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, well, hey, it's been exciting to watch you play, and I can't wait for this season. I think you guys are going to turn some heads in the OCC. Would you agree with that?
We are, yeah. We got something coming, but we'll see. Anybody can talk, I guess.
Yeah, well, it'll be time to be on the gridiron and do all the talking then. So, all right, Brayden, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later this season.
Thank you.